All right, so I did the normal Wednesday call with my clients, and for some reason it got corrupted. The conversion didn't go through with Zoom. So here we are. I'm going to record a whole new video with the notes that I have here in front of me, and I'll make it short and sweet for you guys. So if you missed out, you can catch up and learn what I talked about. So essentially, what I talked about was fat regain, post diet, post show, things like that. What are the main topics? What do you need to know when it comes down to things like that? So when embarking on a new diet, many people often have these high hopes of successful weight loss and improved health. However, many people just honestly fail to realize that the potential risk associated with post-diet weight gain is a real thing. Research has shown that every single time a diet is initiated, it's followed through with or completed, the likelihood of regaining the fat is heightened as compared to pre-diet conditions. This should honestly be fairly concerning to a lot of you, as it indicates that the body's response to weight loss efforts may lead to an even greater struggle in maintaining those longer term effects once you're done with the dieting phase of your journey. So what makes this situation even more alarming is that the rate and the amount of fat regained after a diet tends to surpass the pre-diet levels. So let's just say if you were 20% body fat pre-diet, and what this is kind of saying is you could even go up past 20% once you get done with the dieting phase if you don't properly know how to reverse out and do this the proper way. So again, this means that individuals may find themselves gaining back fat at a faster pace and in larger quantities before, well, rather than, as compared to before they even started this journey at all. The body's biological response to weight loss includes changes in metabolism, hormone levels, which is a big one, and appetite regulation, which plays a pretty big role in the post-diet weight rebound effect, if that's what you want to call it. Um, it is very important to also understand that fat loss typically involves the shrinking of fat cells, not completely eliminating them. While fat cell turnover does exist within the body, it is very tightly regulated by the body to keep that overall number consistent. So once you have a certain number of fat cells, that number will never go down unless you get liposuction, things like that. And at some point, if you just give up on your diet, say, screw this, I'm done, it's too hard, I can't do this, you will begin overfeeding more fat cells than you previously had, and you will ultimately end up surpassing that starting weight in your original levels of body fat. So basically, what this is saying is that once you fail the diet, you are worse off after the failed attempt than when you started, only because you have more fat cells now that are able to store more fat, if that makes sense. Um, this higher weight and this level of body fat becomes the body's new set point or its homeostatic baseline, and the point at which the body will fight to remain at that weight tooth and nail. So if you're normally eating 2,500 calories a day, and you've been doing this for months and months on end, years on end, that's the body's normal. It's not going to want to go up or down. It's going to fight you tooth and nail to get the ball rolling. You can get the ball rolling, obviously. You can lose fat and you can gain muscle. Um, but it's going to make it hard to get things going. That's why that like once you find that homeostatic baseline for whatever that your body's metabolic baseline is now, um, it's not always gonna be that, right? So if you go down in a dieting phase, that is gonna lower. If you go up in a bulking phase, it's gonna go higher. Again, just whatever the body is used to being at, that's where that set point will ultimately be at. Um, and so, if we look specifically at what we're talking about, what we're dealing with, is this is basically the concept of yo-yo dieting. If you diet down and then you don't know how to properly reverse out and you go back up in weight, your graph scale is going to look like this. You're going to go I don't know, 200 down to 180. You fail to reverse out properly, 210. You go down to 185, 215. So it's going to be it's the yo-yo effect. It's going to go up, down, up, down, up, down. And many people just go on this cycle forever and never see any kind of progress just in general. Um, and this yo-yo dieting effect has been associated with negative health effects and outcomes and higher risk of metabolic issues. That's the biggest thing. This vicious cycle of, you know, dieting, regaining the weight, and then dieting again, it will have a detrimental effect on both your physical and your mental well-being. And the biggest thing though is once you fail a diet, you are worse off after you fail it than when you started, simply because you've added more fat cells. And remember, you can't get rid of those. Once they're there outside of liposuction. But this can also lead to feelings of frustration, disappointment, and just a sense of failure, further leading to an unhealthy relationship with food and body image. And you might just say, "The heck with this! I'm done. I'm never, doing this crap again." And that's when the weight just goes up and up. It just gets to be bad, right? It's just what it boils down to. It's just not healthy for the majority of us to do this yo-yo dieting just all the time. It's just not healthy. So I guess the biggest question is, what can we do to prevent this? At the end of the day, you cannot diet forever. You cannot be in a caloric deficit forever. It's just not possible, and it's not healthy either. Every diet needs to have an exit plan. Matter of fact, you need to spend more time in maintenance than you are probably doing right now. A lot of people think I'm going to stay in this deficit for a long time, lose as much body fat as I can, and that's the best approach. And that's not true. One of the biggest things that you could do is do something like an 8-2 plan or an 8-1 plan. And this isn't exact. Everybody is a little bit different. Essentially, what you'll do here is you'll spend 8 weeks in a deficit and then 1 or 2 weeks back at maintenance, just to make sure that you're resetting that metabolic adaptation to where that homeostatic baseline that you started with isn't going to adapt down once you go back up in food for a week or two. It'll go back up to normal, and you can continue losing weight with your same cardio efforts, your same step count, your same food, your workout intensity, things like that. It just kind of helps give your body a little bit of a boost and to remind them, hey, our homeostatic baseline is here, not here, even though that we've been eating here for a while. Let's go back up here for a little bit to remind the body that, hey, our set point is really up here. Um, and so the biggest thing and why that is important is it keeps that metabolism from adapting downward in a negative manner. That's what we were just speaking about. Now, what I'm about to say, this is not set in stone for everybody, but typically everybody in a diet is going to experience something along these lines. As far as negative side effects goes, this could be a decrease in satiety, aka the hunger hormone, or not the hunger hormone. You're hungry more often. So things such as a decrease in leptin, which is the satiety hormone, a lower metabolic output, which is a decrease in T3, and an increase in TSH. Again, this is just referring to like thyroid issues, things like that. You could be hungry more often, which is an increase in ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone. And if we're being honest here, um, a lot of people in a diet often complain of being hungry. I mean, I'm eating 5,500, almost 6,000 calories a day. And there are some times in the day when I am hungry. It is okay to be hungry. And if we're being really honest here, if you're overweight, out of shape, you're 30, 40, 50 years old, you've probably been eating in a surplus for 30, 40, 50 years. You can stand to be a little bit hungry in a deficit for several months to get some of that unwanted body fat off and improve your health and wellness. That's not me being mean. It's just saying you've been enjoying your food, enjoying life for a long time, years and years and years, 30, 40, 50 years. This 1 to 2 year period that you might have to go on this dieting adventure to ultimately improve your lifespan, being hungry is okay. Hunger is a good thing. I think everybody during the day should be hungry at some point in time. If you're not, you should probably speak to somebody about that for sure. Um, and so I guess the biggest thing with all of this though is at the end of the day, when you go into a dieting phase, you must have an exit plan. I've seen some clients, luckily not mine, but they will, after a show, go just, I deserve to eat whatever that I want for the next week. And they gain 30 plus pounds from Saturday to Saturday. And it's not a good look. It's hard to get that back off. It's very hard, honestly. Edema sets in, it's uncomfortable, it's very unhealthy. Um, so even if you're not in a contest dieting phase, if you're just dieting to get leaner, just look a little better, feel a little better, you still have to have an exit plan to get out of that. If you don't, you'll be on that yo-yo effect, that roller coaster of let me lose weight and then okay, what do I do here now to not get back up to here? What do I do to when I get down to my goal weight to stay here, right? A lot of people get down to their goal weight and are like, oh crap, I don't know what to do, and then go back up. It's not intentional, obviously, but again, they don't have an exit plan. So um, that was pretty much it for what I talked about in the Wednesday coaching call. Again, I don't know what happened to the Zoom. I can't find the document anywhere. So I just kind of had to redo it, and that's fine. It's just more knowledge for me to recite in my head and continue to learn and keeping this brain of mine, I guess. So, yeah, if you guys got any questions about anything that I talked about in this recording, be sure either to shoot me a message or just comment down below in the comment section, and I can help you guys out the best that I can. Talk soon.